Good afternoon. Welcome to 4 p.m. My name is Dean Stevenson. And for those of you who came here banging some funk, going to go home and tune some metal or some Taylor Swift on your way home, and now find yourself sitting listening to a string quartet going, how the fuck did this happen? But never mind, you're welcome. And this project, which has been running now for some time, began as a bit of a vanity project, but I suspect, given the amount of conversations I have here at the piano with people each day, that I've come to think that there's a moment when, let me play it out for you. Let's say you've got an hour free between work and the kids coming home or something. We just got some time off. It's a Saturday, the sun's shining, and you think, you know, I'm gonna do my thing, which might be writing poetry or painting or dancing or whatever your thing is, whatever you think your artistic way is. And maybe you don't share it with people because it's a secret thing, but maybe you go, oh, I've got an hour, I'm gonna do something. And then maybe you get out your brush and your canvas and your paints, if that's your thing, and you sit there and you go, oh, fuck it, I'll watch the TV. There's that moment where you show up to something, but you don't quite commit because you're looking for a reason. You're looking for something that's really solid. And we've been taught, we've been educated to think that we have to know all the stuff, the theory, the blah, blah, blah. And if you do it, bloody get it right. Don't make mistakes, because that's just embarrassing. Or, you know, mistakes are awkward. And so that's what we've been taught since we were children. When we put the toys away, we put our courage to play with it. But art is messy, 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 really messy. Art, that's the way it works. And if you don't have a big pile of rubbish at the end of it, then you haven't tried hard enough. And I think that the creativity left undone when you don't do it, when you've got a thing that you just never quite show up, or you never give yourself the time, it metastasizes and then comes out in a rash or something worse. So I put that theory to Mona, and I thought, I'll sit here every day and I'll write a new piece of music. I don't have to have a reason. Don't ask me what my inspiration today was, because there wasn't any. It's just showing up and just starting to make notes that work, notes that function, and then at 4 o'clock, the ensemble arrived to play what's been written today. So please welcome Fran, Natalia, Janet, and Brett. So we can have some questions and answers as we play today's piece, but people often ask, so when do the ensemble get to see the piece you've written today? And the answer is now. They haven't played it before, they're about to do it for the first time. And today represents the 394th day that I've been doing it here in Mona. I've got 3 weeks to go, and then I'm going to go home and draw the blinds and not think of music for a long, long time. So we're going to start to play today's piece now. If you can see the screen over here, you'll see the score whizzing by if you want to watch the dots. If you're on this side and you can't see it, there's a paper copy of today's piece. As I was writing it, I began to think that it was kind of connected, perhaps only subtly, to two other pieces that I've written. One was called A Celtic Lullaby, and one was called A Celtic Dance. So this is just the third unnamed piece by maybe part of the Celtic suite. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out as we put it together for the first time. It starts with a melody in the cello. Could you play it for me, please, Brett? Tell me how it goes. So they were the first notes I wrote in a row. Very nice. Thank you, Brett. Very lovely. And now we're joined by the viola at A. Up it is, yep. Second violin comes in. So what I've done is I've come up with a few notes that work, and then just start to sort of, okay, so there's this melody here that I could repeat, but then on its own, it's only exciting for so long. I mean, it is a cello. You could probably listen to it for hours, especially Brett playing cello. Hello. But then there's another voice has to come in to kind of support it or maybe oppose it. Then eventually the third voice comes in. So, and all I'm doing at this, it's probably lunchtime by now as far as writing goes. And all I'm doing is just writing functional music. And I reckon if I gave you a piece of paper, or 10 pieces of paper, and a pencil, and said a rhinoceros, a unicycle, and I don't know, existentialism, or whatever, just gave you 3 random things and said, write, and you weren't allowed to stop until you'd finished all the pages. You could write the dumbest thing, the dumbest story that no one would really like or enjoy or publish, but you could write it because you know how words work. You know how to put your vowels and your consonants and your nouns and your adjectives. Once upon a time there was. You know how to write words that make sense for someone to read. Whether or not it's good, I'm not talking about quality, but you can know how it works. And that's what I do at the piano. It's just basically making functional music that makes harmonic sense, and maybe, hopefully, a melody shows up. And maybe in that story, maybe the rhinoceros becomes a superhero, I don't know. Okay, so I've got 3 voices now, and now we're at letter B. Hey. First violin comes in. Cool, and going on. So what happened just then was, the first violin comes in with kind of the same sort of melody, but up high. But then when we get to C, we change a bit of key, because I'm going, all right, I've played it, the melody a few times now, but if I say the same thing over and over and over again, they're going to go, oh yeah, I think we've got it now. We've heard everything we're going to hear. And so, oh really? Oh, vaginas, we've got to look some vaginas. So they'll just walk away and do something else. And so that's kind of where most pop songs fail, is you hear everything you're going to hear in the first 30 seconds. Why keep listening? So that's where poorly written stuff fails. So my job is to try and keep it interesting. That's why the key change. So if we go from letter B again, please, where the first violin comes in with the melody. Yeah. Here's the change. So what happens is that just before the bar before B, there's a little, it's a tiny breath, don't wait too long. You're the only one with quavers on beat 1 of the bar before B. So dee, everyone else on beat 2. So no, just don't wait so long on that breath. And they're settling into most. So let's go from C, please. C. There it is now. Here's the melody again. Cello going down. So what I did here was, I thought, okay, in order just to start a quiet section, take the cello right down to the bottom note, ba, 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 ba. So we give us a nice big kind of bed of cushiony loveliness. So listen to that cello line as it goes. So from letter D, please. D. Creeping in second, creeping in first. Softly building the tension. Major key, major sound. hold there. Okay, so I'm changing kind of keys and moving around a bit, and the cello, if you notice, went really high then, like really super high, because it doesn't have to be down there, even though it's the bass instrument of this ensemble, which is a standard string quartet. For those who haven't, there's 2 violins, a viola and cello, and that is actually a standard viola. Janet just had it made out of balsa wood and matches, and she squeezed it too hard and it bent, but never mind. Sometimes when the cello goes right up high, it's like hearing a tiny little, like a Holden Barina just revving its face off, you know, like getting off the lights quickly, which is fun for a bit until it's not. So let's just hear that again to know what the cello sounds like when it's way up high. Let's go from G, letter G, please. The viola. It's the Celtic. Now you're dee-da-da, to our head. Yep. Okay, so now we're into a, oh yes, very nice. Okay, so I didn't know what makes that melody kind of Celtic-ish or the Lord of the Ringsy. I don't know what it is. There's not a book I've found yet that says, if you want to write a Celtic tune, do it like this. If you want to write a whimsical chord, here are the notes you should use. If you want to write melancholy, it's best that you do this. That doesn't exist. We know how to write theory, and then we watch movies and go, oh, that works, and then we copy it. That's how we do it. So maybe I'm just channeling my inner hobbit or something like that. Oh, has anybody got any questions? You can ask questions. If you've spoken to the person next to you and you go, I don't understand what he's saying, or you want to know something about the process, or you want to ask Brett how heavy a cello is, just, you know, think about questions you can ask, because we can have a chat.
John, I said this heavy.
Yeah, it's about that heavy. Good, let's go from letter I, please. Oh, when we get to the end of the piece, rehearsing it, then we'll play it all the way through in one go. We will do that. I. First. Second, viola. Here we go. Nine. I don't know what's happening here. It's just a break from the rest of it. And then N. Violence. Okay, now what's going to happen here? Well, now at O, harmonic, A. Yes. Now, when we get to P, can you go out the octave again? Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that might make the dogs howl, but what we'll try, I said 15. Wow, that's not meant to be 15, meant to be 8. What we'll do, so if the first one's right, yes, and the second time, I might option for like either a harmonic or a high A with a little vibrato.
That A?
Yeah.
That A. That's the same as that one.
Yeah, maybe a stopped note might have a little more energy. Yeah, I think so. So we'll start with the harmonic. A harmonic is when you touch the string lightly, and it makes a glassy sound. Anybody thought of a question yet? Just ask why. That's a good question. Why? Why? Why would you do this? Okay. Let's go right on O then, please. O? Yeah. Stops A. More vibrato. Yes. Change, woo! Everyone goes, yay, about fucking time. It's amazing how you can now do the same shit all over and over again in different keys. Oh, it's fresh. No, it's the same stuff, just in a different key. Good. So that whole middle section was just a way of like holding breath. Like there's that little glassy note over the top, just seeing how far we can go before we drop down into it again. And again, it's a game of patience to see if you've got patience to listen to it, and I've got patience to write it. No questions? Yes. Different artists each day, yes. Do they have an insight into my mind? Yeah, they tend to keep a safe distance when they arrive. It's always the same 4 instruments, but the people rotate because they're very busy people, very busy people. I guess what's unusual in this instance is usually you don't see this. Like if you remember playing, third clarinet in high school band, you remember what rehearsals are like. And if you haven't done music since, you probably never see this except for watching a Beatles documentary where they're making stuff. Because you pay your ticket to bypass this. And what I think that can do, not say it does, but it can kind of increase the gap between those who do and those who do not. If you go, oh, I've always wanted to give cello a crack. But then you go, oh, I go and watch Breton at the symphony play and go, oh, no, I'll never. I couldn't possibly. I'll watch telly instead. So it increases the gap between those who just witness art and those who do it. Whereas I think the act of being creative without giving yourself the stigma of I must be at Brett's level or at Sidney Nolan's level or at whoever's level, that's where the mistake lies. And then that's when you stop yourself from showing up. And then, your unused creativity becomes a rash. Right. You can print that. Yeah. Let's go from Q then, please, into the key change, into the key of B minor, B minor. From Q. E. Cello's going up again. All right, and that was the last bar. So then we got to the end. Please thank Fran, Natalia, Janet and Brett. There we go, so we got to the end. So now we're going to play all the way through. Cool with you? Any questions? They're making notes with their pencils. They put things about fingering and we're bowing and stuff, and writing this piece, cock and balls. I don't know what they draw. It doesn't matter. Any questions? Yeah. Yes. Over there back. I'll let you know when we play it through. I don't know yet. Yeah. I'll let you know. A question over here? I've got musically better, but personally worse. Oh, yes. Yeah, I've never repeated anything verbatim. I've never gone, I've already written this melody. I've written close because I'm me. So there are things that I do and I like that I kind of repeat a bit. The same we would all do if we wrote a story. We'd always start with a female character or a carrot or a rhinoceros. We all have ways in which we start. I think there's a certain kind of music, certainly in strings, that I've always liked, and it probably goes back to when I first heard them as a kid and went, oh, that's yummy. And so I'm trying to relive that original moment that I no longer remember. So we have our ways in. So that means that I will kind of repeat phrase types and structure types, but sometimes keeping it fresh, it's just about showing up, and I don't always feel like showing up. I did not want to get out of bed this morning, but I just got to, because these guys are coming, I have to have something to play. And sometimes for reasons that I cannot identify, this is the thing about just showing up regardless of the idea. Sometimes it's awful. It's just hideous. Just, can you please leave, this is terrible. And I ask, do you want to hear it again? They go, no, it's and other days I go, that's a winner. Like, how good is it? And someone says, yeah, that's the theme from Jurassic Park, mate. Like, oh, okay, right. Oh, well, you know. So, and then other days, like, see, we made an album. There's two volumes of recordings of random days, day 142, 147, day 20, that for reasons I cannot explain to you, it just like pop, and it works. So we come back every night time and make some albums. So just showing up is the most important thing, and not expecting for it to be brand new. You might just keep working on yesterday's idea without giving myself the grief that I have to have a fresh idea or a good idea or anything at all, really. Yeah. Is there one more question? Someone had their hand up? Yes. Start at 10. Yep. Do I ever panic about having something done, you mean? No, I panic if I'm not quite finished and I see them arrive. That's when you feel like you're in the middle of a sentence. You know, the music's just rocketing along, and then all of a sudden, have a banana. Like, oh, it's got a dumb ending on it because they've arrived and I haven't got time to do any more. But I never panic about, as I said, you know, you can fill up pages and pages about a rhinoceros flying to the moon or wherever he goes. I can do that musically and just write something awful. But at least I'm on the tour. At least I'm writing without having to be caught by the constraints of quality. Yeah, I got a spreadsheet over there of the ones that I like, and I will get to them when I can deal with them. But if I write a really crap piece yesterday, and like most of it's crap except this little bit here, that's a cracking 4 bars. Sometimes I seed the next day with that and go, at least I've got a start. I don't want to waste that, which is a good thing to do, I think. Yeah. I was probably quite quick with your answer to say personally worse. There is a cost to the same 10 to 4 constraint, and there's a cost to coming up every day and certainly presenting to people. And I kind of wrote about it. So this is the first 150 days of my journal, my diary, where I would present here, and then I'd sit here when the museum was closed and I'd keep a diary. So I'd write about the day. It's not about music, it's about the creative act, if you like. And there's some score bits and some pictures, and also you can see we record everything. So there's there's like 11 hours, I think, of music through that book. You can read about the day and then listen to the day. There's also live streams and all sorts of things. So it's interesting when you track yourself through the thing that you like to do, because you know you might love your job, love your family, love your kids, but there's something that just you do that's just you, you know, whatever that is, and that's it's important to do that and know that, you know, sometimes it's going to bite you, but that's why you do it. Anyway, let's Have a go. Here we go. Yes. 77, bar 77. Bar 77. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Okie dokie. Here we go. From the top. Thank you. Fran, Natalia, Janet and Brett. Woo. All right. That's it. Now go to the shop and buy the album and the book and stuff. It's just upstairs. Come and have a chat if you like about anything you want to talk about. Creativity is great. I have some books and stuff. You can buy them from me or upstairs, or just come and have a chat. Enjoy Mona. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you and good afternoon.